Hi everyone, so in this video I'm going to be talking about how I got rid of my eczema after 10 years. First I'm going to talk about how I even got eczema, where did it come from, how did it begin. I'm going to talk about the treatments that the doctors in America told me to do and how I cleared up my eczema in literally 2 days because of a woman that was not licensed. She was not a professional. She was just a random lady in Egypt. So let's get started. So when I was 14 years old, I came back from India and I lived in India for almost 4 years. And when I came back from India, it was like all the worst things in the world just started happening to me at once. So like one day I went to the bathroom and my siblings, everybody started screaming. They were like, "Oh my God, look at your neck, look at your neck." And my entire neck was black. Like, I'm talking about this type of black. Like, and it's not a bad thing, you know, dark skin is beautiful. But my skin on my neck was a completely different color and it looked bad. So like everyone started screaming. They were like, "Oh my God, what's wrong with you?" They were like, "Does it hurt?" and stuff like that. I was like, "No, it doesn't." So then I thought like they were being dramatic because I didn't feel anything. But that was just the beginning of literal hell, okay? So then I started getting eczema everywhere. I started losing hair. So my scalp was the first thing that I noticed. Every time I took a shower, even if I used lukewarm water or even cold water to wash my hair, all my hair was falling out in clumps. I was getting eczema everywhere. Like I was getting it on, specifically I was getting it on my elbows, inside of my elbows. I was getting it on my neck, my chest, my hair. And I started losing it like crazy. And it got to the point where people were like, "Oh, you know how everyone in the Muslim community just runs and says evil eye? Oh my gosh, she has evil eye, she has Isha, Quran, Akhri. You need to read Quran. There's something wrong with you. Did you do your adhkar?" And this was the first time I've ever had a serious health condition. And I was having this eczema. It was making like life hard. I wasn't sleeping, bro. I was scratching myself when I was sleeping. So even though the doctors were just being like, "Just don't scratch, put some Vaseline," and they were telling me to use Eucerin, CeraVe, they were telling me to use basic things that I even knew, common sense, but that was it. I keep going to the dermatologist to try to get treatment. And then I think it was like years, like 2 years of hair loss and pain. The front edges of where my hair is was very, very itchy and painful. Like I'm telling you, it was tender. And the thing is, like, I went back to the dermatologist after like 2 years and I was like, "My scalp really hurts." And they said, "Let's take a little piece of your scalp so we can inspect it to see what's inside." So they took a piece of my scalp. They literally had to carve a little bit of skin. I know, TMI, this is probably making y'all sick to your stomachs, but I'm telling you what happened. They took it and they confirmed it was eczema. So they're like, "Okay, here's like the scalp oil." But they said, "Hey, instead of scalp oil, we have more treatments for you. We have steroid creams and steroid shots." So I think I was like 17, 18. It's been years since I had eczema. And the dermatologist said, "Okay, here's steroid cream. I'm going to prescribe it to you. But I recommend that since your eczema keeps reoccurring, you should take steroid shots and do phototherapy." So I was like, you know what? I really wanted my eczema to go away because it really hurt. It was cutting, it was bleeding. And every time I wore a t-shirt, I hated how like people, even when I was in my own house, I would wear a bati. A bati is like a nightgown. I hated how everyone kind of looked at me with pity when they saw the inside of my elbows had eczema, and I was so sick and tired. So I was like, you know what? I'll do the steroid shots. So they told me to pull down my pants. I pulled down my pants and they put a injection on my butt, like on my hip area, and they put a steroid cream injection. And they told me that for the next 2 weeks, I won't have any eczema. And I was like, that sounds amazing. And then I started going to phototherapy. So I started doing this for a year, like on and off. Like I only did the steroid shots twice and I only did the phototherapy around like 6 to 7 times. I wasn't consistent, but I was really hopeful. I was like, you know what? Let me just follow the rules and do what this dermatologist says. Thank God I have a brain, okay? You know, I'm not trying to put down people who are on steroids for years, but I was only on steroids for like less than a year and I caught this quick. When I was not on the steroid shots and I stopped going, like I stopped making appointments with the dermatologist, I was like, you know what? I don't want it. I can just deal with my eczema by myself. I don't want to go pull down my pants and have someone put a shot up my butt cheek. I don't want that anymore. So I was like, you know what, bye-bye. I'm not going to use this anymore. The eczema started coming onto my face. So this was when I was like 20 years old. I know I'll never forget. I'm so mad because like I was 20 years old. I stopped going to go get steroid butt cheek injections. I was like, you know what? I don't want this anymore. I have never had the eczema go from my neck to my jaw, to my cheeks, to my eyelids. I did not take any photos of myself. I wish I did, but I was so embarrassed. This was when I started to learn how to wear makeup every day because I was so embarrassed to leave the house. I had eczema, flaky skin on my eyelids, you guys. It was so embarrassing, and I had a big patch over here. So when I was going to college, one time I was in the MSA, or Muslim student, and there was a girl who said, "You have a dry patch here, do you want some Vaseline?" And the thing is, like, the eczema made me look like I rolled out of bed with drool on my face. It made me look like I was like on a bad deal. How do you say this in English? Like, they made me look like a person that was not clean, that I was like, I didn't have good hygiene. People were always looking at my face like I was always so dry. They thought it was like eye boogers, y'all. They thought like I did not put Vaseline, I didn't moisturize my face, I didn't care about myself. So this girl said, you know, "Oh, I see a patch here," and I didn't want her to look like a jerk. So I was like, you know what, here, I'll just take the Vaseline. "Oh, thank you for pointing it out." I put it on my skin, and literally 5 minutes later it became dry again. And she saw me put the Vaseline, and I don't remember this girl, but I just remembered she looked at me shocked, and then she didn't say anything ever again. I've never seen her again, but she was just trying to be nice. But it kind of showed me, like, it was like I did not leave the house without makeup for years. I would put concealer on my eyelids, put full face of makeup so no one could see that there was eczema on my face, and I made sure not to take photos of myself, and I was so ashamed and frustrated. And not just that, I had really bad hormonal acne. I was like so sick, and I had sinus infections. So it was just like one problem after another. I had sinus infections, then hormonal acne that just shows up at 18, boom. And then I had eczema all over that was very painful. Another problem with eczema is that I could not touch perfumes, perfume lotions, nothing perfumed. So even if I wanted to put on perfume or like a lotion, if it made contact with my skin would turn red, and the whole area would become inflamed and infected. Even if it wasn't the eczema area, it was some other area, my whole body would react. If someone sprayed perfume in the car, I would start sneezing like a crazy person. Like, I was so sensitive to everything, and I was using CeraVe for almost 10 years, y'all. Like, I'm telling you, I've been using non-scented things. I smelled like nature, and I was so upset. Like, I was so tired because like I wanted to just wear perfume things. I even have to wear an undershirt, a cotton undershirt, a specific type of soft fabric underneath everything that I wear. Like right now, this is like the first year in 10 years that I have not put an undershirt underneath my clothes, because if I wear a different fabric, my eczema will become like irritated. I'm telling you, 10 years, you guys, 10. And then I refused to do the steroid shots and steroid creams. Let's talk about it. My insurance refused to cover the steroid creams because it was a cosmetic procedure. It was a cosmetic thing, whatever. They basically said that a steroid cream was not like necessary. My insurance company was like, no, we will not cover it. So I went back to my doctor. I said, can you give me a cheaper product? And he was like, oh no, it should be covered by my insurance. So then they went back and forth and started fighting over whether or not who can cover what. And basically I never got that steroid cream, and they tried to charge me $80 for a tiny bottle. I said, hell no, I'm not buying this tiny tube for $80. I'm not going to buy it. But then slowly, every year, the eczema started to transfer to a different place. So every year it was a new body area. So like for like 3 years it was my scalp. I was getting hair loss. It was bad. It was painful. I had a really hard time. The next 2 years it would be like my arms, the inside of my arms, and my chest would be inflamed. I think for 4 years it was on my neck and on my chest. So my entire chest area. 2021, last year, was when am I even allowed to say this on YouTube? It was on my breast. I'm telling you, one day I was in the shower and I looked down, and slowly from my nipple, it started spreading to the entire breast area, my eczema. And it was so itchy, it was so painful. I couldn't even wear a bra. And I was having mental breakdowns in the shower, because it's like every time I would even hate taking showers because I knew I was going to use some unscented, like boring CeraVe. Like, I feel like y'all will think that I'm just being dramatic, but imagine 10 years of having no other option but CeraVe, a CeraVe tub of like the healing ointment. I'll put a picture here. Imagine 10 years of just putting that on your body, no other lotion. I did everything. I used African black soap. I used a Korean skincare routine. I tried to keep my routine as natural as possible, but nothing worked. And you know what? After 10 years, I gave up. I was like, you know what? I feel like I'm just gonna have eczema for the rest of my life. I don't care anymore. I'm just going to give up. And I was so tired of the American healthcare system just telling me, I even asked them, does diet play a role? They were like, nope. They gave me no other explanation. They were just like, well, you just have it. Well, it sucks to be you. The only things we have is the steroid shots and steroid creams and the radiation, phototherapy. Phototherapy is basically you're in a box and you're in the radiation place and they're putting radiation on you to get rid of the eczema. And literally, why am I doing radiation 3-4 times a week in a place where the workers are running so they don't have to be exposed to the radiation that you're being exposed to? Why would I do that to myself? So I'm like, something's not adding up. So I go to Egypt, right? And this was a few months ago. And I was just like chilling. I was like, okay, everything's cool. And I still had my eczema reactions. But then one day my mom calls this lady. And the reason why I kind of talked down about her is because she was not licensed. She was a nutritionist. Like, she was a health holistic woman. Like, it's hard to explain what she is. Wallahi, I don't remember her name. I just remember she was Indonesian, that she came from Indonesia, and she was trained by a lot of holistic professionals. I don't know what she said, but she introduced herself as a holistic person and that she knew what was wrong. So she said, tell me what you've gone through. And I told her I had eczema since I was 14, so for 10 years I've had it inside my elbows. And she asked me, where did I have my eczema? So I said, inside my elbows, my scalp, my eyelids, my jaw, my neck, my chest. And I was just listing it, right? And she said, has your eczema ever been on your knuckles? I said, no. Your fingers, your hands, no. So then I was like, why is she asking me, and why is she so shocked of where my eczema was placed? So then she says, have your doctors ever mentioned parasites? I said, no. Parasites? What you talking about? And at this point, I thought she was cuckoo loco. What does she mean, parasites? Why does she talk about parasites all of a sudden? And then she was like, you've had parasites since you were 14, and your body's been fighting it, and that's why you have eczema. At this point, I was like, like, this lady's crazy. Why is she saying that I have parasites? I've never heard the term. Doctors in America in 10 years have never mentioned that diet or parasites had anything to do with eczema. So then she was like, I want you to do a cleanse. At this point, I was like, in my brain, I wasn't saying this to her face, but in my brain, I was like, she's a scammer, she's a liar, she's taking advantage. And then I was like, okay, what do you want me to do? She said, I want you to drink castor oil, mix it into a drink. Drink that castor oil and cleanse your body. And I was like, okay, what else? And she said, that's it. I was like, that's it. And I was like, you know what? She left, right? And she was like, while you're doing your cleanse, she said, no chicken, no sugar. And she said, just focus on smoothies, like salads and stuff. And then she said, just drink water, no coffee. And I was like, okay, fine, I'll just do that. And for just like a week, she said, just for 7 days, there's a nasty castor, and it was the nastiest drink I've ever drank in my life. They put it in guava juice. Like a guava smoothie, guava juice. They just added the castor oil into that. Like, I had to drink a lot of castor oil, so they put it in guava juice. Till this day, I won't even look at guava juice. So if you're gonna do this, make sure it's not a drink that you actually like, because you will never look at that drink the same. I'm fine because I don't care about guava juice like that, but don't put it in mango or strawberry if you really like that drink. But anyways, I gulped that down, and I did it twice because I felt like my stomach wasn't clean. So I did it for 2 days. It's been 5 months and it's gone. Completely gone. Eczema who? Like, you can still see the scarring. Like, I'm just going to show you my arms because this is where the eczema was. It was inflamed, it was cracked, it was bleeding. Literally a month before I did this colon cleanse BS, you know? So this is how my skin looks now. The darkness is fading, you guys. Like, it's almost gone. Let me show you the other arm. This arm had like a lot of eczema. It used to be like from here all the way down to here, and it was so big, and I was always wearing like cotton batis at home. Like, I'm telling you, and my chest starting to lighten up. So my chest was really dark, like darker than the rest, and it was kind of like, it was like the eczema was kind of carved out like this, and my the eczema on my breast disappeared. Like, I'm telling you guys, when I did this colon cleanse, I thought she was crazy, you know, but I was like, wait, I haven't itched my arms in a while. Then I started doing research on parasites and what they are and why American healthcare does not talk about it. So I started going on TikTok, and there is a lady who kind of goes a little extreme about parasites and stuff like that, but they have a point. America is one of the only countries in healthcare systems that does not care about parasites or talk about it. Because I was traveling from a different country, I came from India to America, it is most likely that I've catched like some sort of parasite while I was going from India to America. It makes sense, everything is clicking. And the second I cleanse my colon, aka just drank some castor oil, it's gone. When I came back to the States, I was so sure. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get eczema again. It never returned. For the first time in 10 years. Let me show you. So even though I'm not allowed to put perfume lotions, right, I would still put perfume on my clothes. So even though I would still get an eczema, like a breakout or a rash or a reaction, I still wanted to smell good. I like smelling good at my own home. I'm getting emotional, but basically you see this is my Chanel perfume. I love this Chanel No. 5 perfume. I will always buy it. It's beautiful, it's amazing, yeah. But I put this on my skin. No reaction. I was too scared to put on my eczema, but later on, I sprayed on my eczema, rubbed it to see if it would burn. Nothing. And guess what else? I'm not gonna go and get it, but there is a Soap and Glory lotion that I bought 2 months ago. And I use that lotion after every shower and no reaction. Like, I'm telling you guys, it's gone. And what bothers me so much is like, let me put this back. It's like, how can a woman that is not a licensed professional, she's knowledgeable in holistic medicine, how in the world did she clear up, completely make my eczema vanish in 2 days? While the American healthcare system did not help me for 10 years. Like, I had it for 10 years and they told me there was nothing I could do. They told me that it was just a natural thing, that it just happens. Oh, sucks to be you. They didn't say that exactly, but they basically, through their actions and the treatments they try to give me, not once did they ever say it could be parasites. Not once. Not once did my dermatologist, my family physician, endocrinologist, nobody told me that eczema could be linked to parasites or like some sort of digestive issue. They never connected eczema with diet. Nothing. So like when I was, the rest of my visit in Egypt, I was eating junk food after junk food. After my week cleanse, I was like, you know, screw you. I'm on vacation, because I basically went to Egypt for vacation to visit my family and to come back home. So I was like, I'm going to Egypt so I can enjoy myself, not to go on this sad diet. And I was like, you know what, let me just eat. And I was eating fried chicken, I was eating Pepsi, and I was so scared because I really thought that I was gonna get my eczema back, because sometimes even the foods that I eat, like I ate, like if I ate too much bread, my eczema would react. If I ate too much pizza, it would react. So I didn't know what was going on, but I just knew intuitively, like living in America, that if I was eating certain foods, my eczema would freak out and it would get worse. But I was eating junk food every day. I was eating out, enjoying my life. And when I came back to America, I was eating the exact same foods, like not the exact, but I was still not eating completely healthy. I was eating foot-long Subway sandwiches with cheese and no reaction. Like, I was so scared that my eczema was going to return, and it seems like nothing is going to make it come back. I'm just so mad, but so relieved at the same time. I am using perfume lotion after 10 years. I can have anything perfumed have contact with my skin after 10 years, from the age of 14 to 24. This is absolutely crazy. Like, I'm turning 25 in a few months, but I've had eczema for how long and I could not treat it. But my question for American healthcare is, why is the only treatments that y'all have for eczema is steroids and radiation? Like, why is that the only two options that you have for us? And another one is birth control. Why do you guys shove birth control in our faces as women? Why do you shove that in our faces when we have hormonal acne, when we're having issues with our hormones, or there's something clearly wrong with us? Instead of trying to treat the problem, why do you shove like things that will just make the symptoms worse in the long term? When they prescribed steroid shots for me and I said like, no, I'm not going to use it, Imagine if I used the steroid shots for more than a year. Probably I would have gotten like eczema all over my body at that point. That reaction, the withdrawal symptoms was crazy. I'm not trying to force anything on y'all, but let me tell you what she told me to do. She told me to take a cup of like a juice. Please don't use a juice you love. And you put like, I don't know how much that she put in my drink though. Just look at the bottle instructions, castor oil laxative, and you put that amount in your cup and you drink it. But basically, if you want to do it, that's all I'm going to recommend to you. But it's really sad how like I got immediate help for something that I was dealing with outside of the country versus here. But yeah, I just wanted to tell you guys my story because I've had this for so long. I'm telling you, like, this is just so sad. And I just wanted to make this video real quick. I didn't even wear makeup because I was like, you know what, let me talk about this in case this will help you guys. So yeah, that's all I have to say in this video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up, and I'll catch you in my next one. Bye.